Hello. So you may or may not notice that this episode that you're about to listen to is a re-release. And the reason I'm re-releasing it is because I fucked up. I fucked up Anchor, the platform that I use to do my podcast. Spotify bought it, which a round of applause for Anchor, the startup company. They must have walked away with a fat chunk of change. Anyway, Spotify bought it, so the platform's a little different, and I wasn't able to, edit the way I wanted to, blah, 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 whatever. So I'm re-releasing it for a few reasons, because it's fucking epic. Duh. And I just circled back and created a feed post for it. And I'm going to add some stuff right now, as I'm talking to you. So it's kind of a double episode. So we're talking about manifestation, which I don't know. Do you know by now? This is literally, it has to be my favorite topic ever. It's literally my favorite topic ever. And I fucking remember I'm dropping mad F-bombs today. Probably because I'm in a good mood. Anyway, I remember I was in middle school. I was walking home from my bus stop, which is only like a block and a half. And I remember I had a rough day. Shit wasn't good. I don't remember what happened. And I remember thinking, I knew this was going to happen. Internally, I felt off, anticipating. So I knew that I would feel feelings before the thing happened. I connected that pretty early. I didn't know it was called manifestation back then. It was 25 years ago, whatever. It doesn't really matter. So I said to myself, I remember thinking, am I predicting what's going to happen? Or are my feelings making these things happen? And without going into that question, because it's very layered, I'll say that obviously feelings are frequency. Feelings are our frequencies, or how we get the manifestation to come in. And manifestation is just creation. It's literally just creative flow. We're here to create. And the truth is, as humanoids, that sounds so funny, but as a human, we have the ability to be the masters of our own earthly destiny, our creations, what we desire. And it's because we do have the ability to influence how our subconscious mind works, or what it projects. And through that, we gain the cooperation of that cosmic infinite intelligence, and we can have it flow through us, that kundalini energy, and then project outward in our desired patterns, which then creates physical reality. And it's your birthright. It's your birthright. And it's just, a lot of this is just about deconditioning and then reprogramming with beliefs you prefer. And there's no right or wrong. It's just, what do you want? So yeah, this is about the space in between, the waiting period, and how what you project with your thoughts, your feelings, your subconscious in that waiting period is going to affect the speed at which you receive the manifestation and how it comes about. So since this episode originally was recorded a couple weeks ago, just one little update. Cosmic Kundalini, the 5-month mastermind, is open until October 31st. It will never be this price again. It is 5 months with me in your pocket helping you apply these concepts and techniques to your goals, your life, whether it be business or love or work, whatever. We have a group of women in all different places in their lives, all over the world, with all different sorts of goals, mastering the Kundalini technology, techniques, and the energetic principles that I channel, and applying it to their lives. And you can still hop in. We've only had one class so far. There's so much incredible content that I truly believe can absolutely change your life if you're ready. There are extended payment plans. It's just really, if you know, and the link is in the show notes, and you can always reach out to me. So before I hop into the episode, you know what? Actually, that's it. Go listen, have fun. I love you. And I know for a fact there's one to two women who are going to be hearing this who've been like on the verge of maybe doing the Kundalini mastermind, but they're not sure, and they're a little afraid, and they're like already overwhelmed as it is, blah, blah, blah. Talk to me. Let's talk. Because that inkling, that intuitive hit, I don't think is a mistake. And it might be time to really trust yourself on this and take that leap of faith and receive the magic that comes with that. Okay, I love you. Bye. Let's talk about the space in between and what I mean by that, blah, blah, blah. This is inspired by a DM from a client. We've done one-on-one work. She is in Starseed Sanctuary. She's also in my Cosmic Kundalini program, and like really took on the teachings, really committed herself to the work, and got big results. Regulation, promotion, more money, really amazing opportunities popping up. And that stuff can happen really fast. And then, a lot of times in life, there's the space in between. And we can't escape the space in between. The space in between the desire and the manifestation. The space in between the inhale and exhale. The space in between feeling like you love yourself, you're ready for a partner, and then actually meeting your person. The space in between quitting your job and maybe starting your own thing. The space in between believing in yourself and feeling creative flow, and then not, and like waiting for it again. So that space in between is sacred. It's a sacred pause. But if you are conditioned to have a dysregulated nervous system, which I believe everyone basically is under that conditioning, but especially you, if you are a highly sensitive, intuitive woman, starseed, if you've experienced trauma in your life, there's space in between. You're much more susceptible to project these painful patterns into the space, right? So it's, if you have the desire for a house, you want a house, you want the finances to buy a home, you want a yard. I'm talking about myself. There's going to be a gestation period, right? The space in between, that we're not seeing things align and happen, but they are. And our contribution, our energetic contribution to that space in between is going to affect the outcome. Another example of space in between is maybe creating an online course and launching it. And then there's a lot of space in between any interest maybe, or anyone signing up. Or maybe there's, sometimes there's not. But maybe it's starting an Instagram for your side work and you want to manifest 10,000 followers, right? I've done that. I've been there. The space in between, again, that desire and the outcome. What you project into that space affects the timing of the outcome, the way that it comes about, manifestation, all of it. And we can project a lot of fear because that's what we're used to. That's our patterns. So as uncomfortable and painful and scary as this space can be, it's a gift because it shows us what is still, for lack of better language, holding us back. It shows us exactly where our deepest pain points are if we're willing to sit with it and look. And in a lot of self-help, new age type talk, and talk about the space like, the unknown. Specifically when we're talking about manifestation, that's one of my favorite topics because it's really just creativity. It's creation. My favorite thing in the world and life is creative flow and being creative, and creating. That's what manifestation is. It's creation. Anyway, it says okay, when you notice the thought spirals, right? Okay, I have the desire for the house. And then my logical mind goes, well, good luck with that down payment and the interest rates in New Jersey. And it's literally the worst time ever in the history of the United States to buy a house, blah, blah, blah. All that starts going in. And very quickly, a lot can get triggered, in the nervous system. So they say okay, switch it to positive thinking, right? Switch it to, I do believe in myself. Anything is possible, blah, blah, blah. And well, that's great. If you are sensitive and you started to go into that negative thought spiral, chances are you are so far on that train already. Your nervous system's activated. Your emotional body's pouring through. You're reliving patterns very quickly. And that's not because there's something wrong with you. No, it's because you're highly sensitive and we need different tools, okay? And so instead of trying to grab your negative mind and basically the inner child that's starting to spiral and feel unsafe and afraid and not believe in themselves, instead of grabbing that, just being shut up and go over to the positive thoughts, because it's never going to work for us. Not long term. We have to bring the nervous system into it and our spirit in a really different way. That soul frequency that we have, that remembrance that we have needs to be activated to soothe the inner star child. And so my client came to me and was saying how some situation was happening and she saw herself spiraling. She's in that space in between, that space where the goal is to be regulated and to trust and to be open and to receive, right? That changes the frequency of the outcome. It changes the frequency, so the speed, okay, of your timelines. But we can't force that, especially if we want sustainable. That's what we're going for here. I'm not really interested in just quick tricks. And yes, stop, drop, kunda, it does work fast and it does feel like a hack. It basically is. It's an energy hack, but it's for the long term. It's for the long-term well-being of your nervous system, of your body, of your brain, of your organs, your cells. It's the long-term understanding of your auric fields and your emotional stability and how all of that affects what you project into the spaces of the unknown. Pardon me. Penelope, thank you. I love you. Thank you for keeping me safe. Hi. Yes. You're my protector, girl. I love you. Thank you. So I visually see this, energetically, which is a huge, massive part of my experience of trying to bridge these worlds, is taking what I channel and have always seen energetically and being able to apply it, right, to our lives and the lives of women. And so the kundalini, to use that in the space, transforms everything. Because when you find yourself in that space where it's we can either just unconsciously, right, start living the same pattern, living in the same reaction, and then taking action in that space from those past patterns, right, from the fear, from the abandonment wound, from the rejection wound. We think whatever it might be, starting an online business or wanting a partner isn't going to trigger our core abandonment or rejection wounds. Of course it is. And if you're here, you're in the depth of this work. You're not here to skim across the surface. And some people do more easily, and that's fine. We're all here to do different things. We're all here to process in different ways. And I'm here for you if you resonate with the way that I process and reflect. Because it is unique, and it's fucking deep, and it's not easy, and life isn't easy. And I say a lot in my Kundalini classes when I'm, kind of pushing the class to do the breath of fire for 11 minutes, 22 minutes, right? Stay in the meditation past the point where the logical mind is really pissed, shaking it up. But I say we've been trained to put effort and discipline and force and stress into just external action into the world. I do this, I get this, And what if the real hard work, you took all of that energy that you're pushing externally and you just sat your butt down and channeled it into the 11-minute meditation or the hour Kriya? I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but it's not. If you really think about how much time and energy you might be spending on, this is a generic way to say it, but scrolling. I mean, how the fuck do I not have 40 minutes, an hour and a half, 2 hours for Christ's sake, to not sit and do Kundalini and journal and do the practice? But I can, I look at granted I work on my phone, but still, you get what I'm saying, all of that energy and time to figure out the pieces, to connect the dots in the unknown space that is never going to work. By now that the dots only connect when you look back at it, because it's God filling in the gap. Okay, so imagine the gap in between the desire and the result, whatever it might be. The more that I project my story, my logic, my pain, my trauma, my dysregulation, my fear onto that space, the less space there is for God to fill in the gap. You get what I'm saying here? When my nervous system is dysregulated in that open space and I'm projecting from that fight or flight, there's less space for God, the universe, to filter in. It's just how it works. It's not personal, babe. It's not. I know you've been through shit. I know it can be really fucking hard and feel impossible and alone. I know. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing, sharing and teaching the best I can and practicing what I preach. So when we take the Kundalini technology and we stop and drop in that space, and the nervous system regulates and the mind neutralizes, and you're chanting the mantra and you start to soften and the chakra system naturally balances and the Kundalini gently flows, right? Kundalini is that creative life force energy of the universe, right? We're spinning it all back around to creativity. Of course, it attributes to manifestation. That's all this is. When we stop, drop, and Kunda in that space, we open up to the universe. We activate surrender. The action that we take is the Kriya. So Kriya is action motivated by connection with the infinite. So instead of taking action in this space from fear, from past patterns, we're telling ourselves, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to initiate a different pattern, and I can do this, and I can do hard things, and I can believe in myself. And you don't even need to tell yourself that, because I don't give a fuck about mindset work. That's like the last thing on the list of shit to do to manifest, honestly. Like the mindset work, I'm so over it. It's really not helpful for most of us most of the time. It's helpful for some people some of the time. It's, for most of us most of the time, it's not helpful. For most of us, sprinkle it on top after all of this, the inner child and the Kundalini. And you'll find that you don't even need to push the mindset work, because naturally it's you're more in flow. It's how the mind works in Eastern philosophy. I love the study of the mind. You get to choose what you do with the sacred space. It can either be a sacred space. Well, it's always a sacred space, but we can either remember that it's a sacred space through aligned actions, sap, drop, Kundalini, or we can experience it as a very scared space where we continue to take action from our past patterns, and then life doesn't really shift in the way that we know it can shift. I was reflecting this morning on why did I create this Cosmic Kundalini program? Why did I make it a mastermind? Which to me, mastermind means we're getting together for the same purpose, and it's to use these tools to heal our shit and vibrate higher and experience amazing fucking things in our lives. And to master the mind. And you know who coined the term mastermind? Is actually Napoleon Hill. He wrote Think and Grow Rich. It's an OG book. It's a little outdated, but the general concepts are great. And it's just about the power of coming together consciously and learning, bringing that energy into a vortex and committing to something. And so I want the mastermind of Cosmic Kundalini to be a commitment, a commitment to changing our lives. And I know that sounds silly, but I just mean filling that space with our consciousness, with our light, with believing in ourselves and one another, with feeling supported. And it's there's so much emphasis all the time on feeling supported by the universe, yet so many of us can't even accept support from other women or a group of women or a program or a coach, right? I've been there where I was I should just trust, where it's oh, I'm not even letting in support, because universal support can come in so many forms. And when I started to be okay, if I invest financials into this support and I'm more open to receiving because it feels like an energy exchange, I'm learning to receive support. And then that learning translates in other ways. And it's like the cosmic kundalini practice is support. I know I kind of went on a tangent here, but I think that the 5-month accountability piece, it's to retrain our patterns. It's to retrain ourselves with the support of other women. And I'm grateful and I'm happy. And, if you're in the space, if you're in the gap, try to stop, drop, and kunda. And this isn't about there never being gaps or there never being fear or there never being doubt. Again, like life is hard. There's nothing normal about any of this. We live in a glitched matrix. But I do believe that this technology was given to us by higher dimensional ET beings to glitch the fear matrix and create a lot of fucking joy in our lives. And I believe that is a noble incarnation purpose. And I just believe in it so much. I believe in this work so much. So in the show notes, there is a free 44-minute class on how to use mantra. There's also a podcast episode on here. It's number 64, episode number 64, and it's how to tune in with mantra. It's a 5-minute tune in on little challenge. So those are 2 totally free resources for you. And then also, of course, the Cosmic Kundalini 5-month mastermind. In the show notes, it's right now, it's in the pre-sale, $700 off, and this is the only phase of the pre-sale where there are also extended payment plans with a firm. So you can do it for like as low as, I think I saw $70 a month with 0% interest, which is like really amazing. So check it out. You know where to find me. If you have any questions, you can DM me on Instagram at @𝗬𝗢𝗓𝗏, or you can email me, Keir@keirgrace.com. Waheguru.